Well, I mean, you're right. The reason I'm doing this, the reason I think most people look into this is for their family. So, on a personal note, I've got children, so bottom line, what's better, a will or a trust?
Yeah. Well, that's always the debate, and then to me it starts off with what can you afford, and just from a general standpoint, you can get will packages that are in the $500 to $600 range, and you can get trust packages that are $1,500 to $2,000. And obviously, if you can spend a little bit more and you can get a trust, I mean, there's so many more things that a trust can do. But if money's an issue and you're on a budget, do the will and be happy with the will, and we can accomplish some things with the will. And then maybe down the road we can upgrade you to a trust, but just do something. Don't put it off.
Do a will now and then transition into a trust.
Sure. Yeah, many people do that. It's almost like life insurance. The debate always was: do I get term insurance? It's cheaper. Do I get permanent insurance that costs more? And the permanent insurance is always better, but if what you can afford today is the term insurance, start with that.
Are there other documents needed in this whole process?
Yeah, I mean, people always talk about wills and they talk about trusts, and that's what articles are written about. But you've got three other very critical documents that are hardly ever referred to or mentioned. You think about it, you hear about a financial power of attorney. You hear about a healthcare power of attorney. You hear about a living will, and people hear these things and they're out there, but they don't know what they mean. When you come in to do a will package or a trust package, whatever package you do, we want to make sure it includes these other documents. Like, have you heard of a financial power of attorney? Have you heard of a living will? I mean, just take those two. I mean, a financial power of attorney, what happens if you're in a car accident and you're laid up in the hospital for 3 months and you can't communicate? Who has authority to file your tax returns? Who has authority to pay your bills? And people think, well, I'm married, my spouse automatically has that authority. No, your spouse doesn't have that financial authority just because you're married. I mean, there's a lot of people that are married that they want to keep their finances separated from their spouse. So a power of attorney is where you delegate that authority and you say, hey, if I'm laid up and I can't manage my real estate investments or I can't pay my bills, I appoint my CPA, or I appoint my sister, or I appoint my parents to be that power of attorney. And then a living will, you become a vegetable, you become brain dead, you're hooked up to machines, there's no quality of life, and the doctors are saying there's no chance of reversal, and they want to pull the plug, but maybe one loved one says pull the plug and another loved one says don't pull the plug, and you see these cases in courts once in a while. I remember I think it was the Shivo case. It was highly publicized, where the guy's wife had been incapacitated for years, and the poor guy wanted to go on with his life and pull the plug, but the parents of the young lady, they fought to keep their daughter on life support. It was an ugly battle. With a living will, you can spell all that out. At what point do you want them to pull the plug? And who makes, in a healthcare power of attorney, who makes these healthcare decisions? Who decides whether you operate or don't operate? These are things that are all part of the estate planning process.